Melissa Westcott, Campus Director here at the Moncton campus at Eastern College. Join us in conversation on how we can help you become job ready.
I'm Alan Dale from Gale Force Winds. What an absolute pleasure it is to be here in Moncton, New Brunswick with the good people at Eastern College, talking to people whose lives have been changed, who are changing lives. It's amazing things that are happening here. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do.
My name's Samuel Reed. I'm a bylaw enforcement officer in the town of Riverview, New Brunswick. I came to Eastern College for criminology, and it was a very good experience on my end.
Talk to me about your first interaction with Eastern College.
So I had a unique one in that I started right in the middle of COVID. Okay. So right off the hop, it was something where I was forced to do my schooling from home, but as an adult in my 30s, it was actually a huge blessing to be able to do that.
Right.
It allowed me a lot more opportunities in a weird sort of way during a time such as COVID, which didn't allow a lot of opportunities for people.
Right. So it was a nice little path for you to go down when COVID happened. Talk to me about the ease of admission and things like that. What was that experience like for you?
Oh, the admission part was, I say non-existent just for the fact that it was as simple as I just wanted some information about the course. I had a phone call. They went through some of the basics with me, but from there it was as simple as a few emails, sending in my application, sending in all the documentation that they required. And then as far as student loans, I think her name was Lindsay at the time. She helped with getting student loans and everything set up. I mean, if I remember correctly, I had applied in October of November, and by the end of January, I was starting in my course.
Wow.
Yes.
Talk to me about the course itself. Did you enjoy it?
I loved it.
What was your favorite part?
I'm aspiring to be in the RCMP, so anything that had to do with policing, and I mean it was criminology, so
yep.
Most of it did. The toughest part was learning about how the brain functions, but it was also the most interesting part because you learn why people do the things that they do. So going through case studies, seeing the history of different criminals, people that have had mental health issues, it was quite invigorating in a weird way, but also very heavy at times.
Mm-hmm. The way you describe it, it sounds so interesting, for sure.
It was very interesting, and I was very blessed to have the best teacher I've ever had in my entire life.
Talk to me about that. Why do you say that? Why the best teacher?
Because she cared about her students. She cared about those who showed initiative, those who showed that they wanted to be there. She herself had been in this field of study for 20 plus years, so you could just see her passion in it, right. And that came out and it was hard to not kind of get infected by that as a student myself, and it just made my passion grow even more to the point that you didn't want to disappoint your professor, you didn't want to disappoint yourself, and you ended up doing very well in the course because of that.
Coming out the other end, right to work then? Right
to work, yes. So partway through my course, I actually had a desk job just as administration, and I actually took a pay cut to go work as a support worker just because I wanted the opportunity to work with those who do have different mental health issues, and that just started to give me some experience, and as soon as my course was done, I was able to apply for a job and get out there right away.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, it sounds like you've had a perfect journey through there.
That's the thing. I had the storybook of, I think, how everybody wants their school experience to go.
On that school experience, what would you tell somebody that's looking at the criminology course, and more specifically looking at Eastern College? What would you tell them?
I would say Eastern College is very, very, what's the word? They're willing to work with you. They're willing to work around your schedule. I mean, again, this was during COVID, and even with everything the government was offering us at the time, Eastern College and my instructor were willing to work with me to make sure I could still work a full-time job, that I could still get my schoolwork done, which is usually a lot of people's issues with going back to school. How am I going to be able to pay my bills and learn something new? So in that regard, I would think just the way they were willing to work with their students, especially as a full-grown adult with my own responsibilities, was just absolutely incredible.
And the program itself?
Oh, the program itself. It's just a fun program. If you have any interest in learning about policing, corrections, or in general just how our legal system works, very, very intuitive, very in touch with looking at the history of criminology, even the history of the RCMP, the history of corrections, all up until today and how much that has changed. So you get a little bit of history, you get science and learning about how the brain functions, and in general just how to interact with people and why they do the things that they do.
An absolute pleasure to be in conversation with you. Thank you.
It was great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us today. Reach out at easterncollege.ca to learn more about how we can help you ring this bell.